Are these the best cameras on a Galaxy foldable device? In this video, I'll be finding out with all of the photos, videos, and tests, including log, including the best camera settings and all of that. Let's get into it. I'm starting with the daylight photos, and I really enjoyed all the photos I took here on the Z Fold 7 in the day, especially when there's a lot of light. It was vibrant. It did not have that overly processed looks that phone tends to have. And overall, I would say the balance was quite nice. And this was true across the several focal lengths, which I'll be getting to later in this video. But just as an overall sense, I would say I was very pleased with the daylight samples from the Z Fold 7. Now, something I wasn't quite pleased with was just the focus hunting here, where sometimes it seemed that the camera couldn't quite make up its mind. And while it is nice that there's depth of field, it sometimes was a bit too much and a bit too overpowering in some photos where maybe a much wider aperture would have helped. I said wider aperture, but I mean more narrow aperture, because the bigger the f-stop, the actual smaller the, you know what? Yes, photography. And this is early morning video test of the Z Fold 7, and right now I'm on the 0.6x and going to the 1x here. You can see how it handles, let's say, the down there, which is a bit brighter, well, darker than the sky, but then this is a bit backlit here as well. So now let's go into the 3x camera there, and you can see how that works. I'm just gonna track a few of the cars below on the road there. Let's follow that white car. And finally, one of the things I like, the front camera right here. This is amazing. Like, why don't more phones allow this? But yes, this is the front camera in the day as well, and this is on the front of the phone, not unfolded. It always trips my mind here. But let's go back to the 0.6x there. You can see right there. So let me know what you think of not just the video quality but the audio quality as well. And just to keep it all balanced, this is the unfolded camera, front camera there of the Z Fold 7. Now, I've not looked at any of this on my computer, so I'm not sure what my conclusions are going to be, but yeah, just let me know. Let me just go backlit there. Let me know which one would you prefer. Would you prefer to use folded or unfolded? I don't know, let me know. There are also several features such as focus enhancer that switches to the ultra wide camera when you get close enough, and sure, in some cases you can still, you know, use your main camera like this photo you're seeing right here. But when I did use that wide angle camera though, sometimes like this photo on the train, because it's the ultra wide, you lose all of the depth of field. So that's just something to take note of. Moving on to the ultra wide camera, and I would say that just one thing here, it is pretty wide. Seriously, when I started using it, my first thoughts were like, this is way too wide for me, man. I don't know how I'm going to capture photos. But something surprising happened, which was that the more I started taking photos on it, the more I started enjoying taking ultra wide. And in fact, I started looking for more ultra wide photos to take here on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And I think this was so unexpected, but I loved it. And sure, there was distortion, especially around the edges. There is no two ways about that. But I think I used the distortion to be able to achieve this effect that I actually liked when I started looking at the photos. In my opinion, I just think that it gives it a lot more character. And this is the back camera video test of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, which I'll just call Z Fold 7 from now on. And I'm on the 1x camera here, and if I switch to the 0.6x, and this is one of the best performances I've ever seen in low light, because I've tested so many phones from this place I'm standing right now, and it's doing really well, especially on that 0.3x camera. If I go into the 3x there, this is where it struggles a little bit, right? Like, you can see the chromatic aberration on the tower there, and if I go to the other tower as well, and let me just pan down, not too fast so it's not too disorientating, and I'll go to the 1x there as well. And yeah, so let me know what you think of the night test. Now, one thing I like here is that I can actually, right here you can see that now it's like really dark. There's literally no light on the roof right here, so it's not performing as great as I would like on the front camera, which is before I unfold the phone. So, and this is the front camera when it's unfolded, and the performance, I don't think it looks that much better, to be honest. But it does look a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, I'm wearing a white shirt right now, but yeah, this is the sample you're going to be getting here at night with the front video test. So let me know what you think. Do you think this works well? Do you think this doesn't work well? Let me switch there so you can see the towers behind me. Please let me know all of that and more in the comments down there below. Going on to the telephoto camera here on the Z Fold 7, and it's a 3x optical zoom, and the camera here is not a new one, and it definitely shows its age, but in the day I would say it is less visible compared to in the night when we get to that section, and yeah, it did not fare well here at all. But in the day I would say, especially with lots of sunlight, it was great, though I did notice some chromatic aberration in some of the photos I took, especially when there is sunlight. So flaring also, it doesn't handle flaring that well. So if you're shooting this into the sun or your subject is near the sun, that telephoto camera is not going to be the best. But for overall photos from the 3X, which is my favorite, over the 5X, which I think is a bit too long, especially because I stay in the city, I just don't have enough space for a 5X here. But yeah, overall in the day I would say it's okay. It's not as great as the main camera or even that ultra wide, which I love. Going on to night mode, and this is one where I was actually surprised because first, the main camera, of course, as we've seen in the day, performs really well at night here as well. It knocked it out of the park. But the ultra wide was one where I thought would struggle versus the telephoto, which is what has normally been the case in my previous devices that I've checked out. But here on the Z Fold 7, the ultra wide actually performed way better than the telephoto. And of course, it makes sense. The telephoto struggles a lot. It's an older sensor and all of that. But I did not just expect the disparity here, especially because the main one was great. It's the main camera. Details can be a bit crunchy at times, especially on that ultra wide, but it was still, I think, okay. If you're posting on social media, people won't really notice it that much. If you transfer it to a desktop, of course you're going to notice it, but yeah, not on the telephoto way, which you will definitely notice the telephoto. But you tell me, which one do you think looks better for the night mode samples? Am I tweaking? Is it that the ultra wide is actually not as great as I think? Let me know in the comments down there below. Moving on to portrait mode, and I have a high expectation here of the Z Fold 7. I would say that is on me because most of the Samsung devices I've used in the past, I've had fantastic portrait mode, and that is still present here on the Z Fold 7. I would not say that the portrait mode is bad, but there are some certain photos that I expected it to do better at edge detection, at background detection, that it just did not perform to the high standards that Samsung themselves have set. So that's something that I definitely noticed with the Z Fold 7 when it came to the portrait mode. But when you get it right though, it still looks fabulous. I like the color tones. It again looks very natural. It doesn't look so overpowering. And when you get that nice portrait mode here, you really get that nice portrait mode here on the Z Fold 7. Talking about video features here on the Z Fold 7, and of course you get 8K recording on the main camera, and you get 4K recording, 4K 60 FPS in fact, on all cameras, including the selfie cameras. And I enjoyed using this Z Fold 7 as my main camera, my behind the scenes camera, and my end credits camera. So if you're not making it all the way to the end credits, well, you're missing a lot, especially from this Z Fold 7, because I'm using it primarily to capture all of that. So I really enjoyed the video recording here on this phone. Stabilization too was okay. It was not, I would say, the best in the world, especially when you walk sideways, which I tried a little, most cameras struggle here, admittedly, but the Z Fold 7 did struggle a bit more than most. But if you're just using that ultra wide camera, or you're using the main camera, you're walking or you're talking, or you intend to use this as something where you're recording yourself or recording other people, I think the Z Fold 7 here performs brilliantly. And this is the back video test here of the main camera. And what is nice about the Z Fold 7, I keep trying to say the Z Flip 7, the Z Fold 7 is just that I can see myself. Now I have to train myself not to look up because that's how it actually looks. But when I look down there, it looks really good, just to simulate the previous one as well. That's how it looks right there. But yeah, looks really, really nice. And yeah, let me know what you think about the quality. It just looks good here. I hope it looks good when I look at it on my computer. Where the Z Fold 7 does not perform brilliantly though is in heat management, especially when you're using the camera. Now, I have never gotten this phone to heat up, not even when I'm playing intensive games or using 4 apps at the same time. But using the camera definitely is one way I could get the phone, especially the back of the phone here, to really, really heat up. Apart from that, the battery life was also considerably bad when I was using the camera. And because this one does not have fast charging, it does have 25 watts or 45 watts or whatever it is. It's a lie. I've tested it with my power tester. It maybe pulls 18 watts if you're lucky. So it's not the most fastest of charging. And when this was low and I was out, I was taking lots of photos and I had to plug to my power bank, it literally just never topped up. So that's something for you to take note of. If you intend on using the Z Fold 7 as a camera where, you know, plug it in and you quickly charge it back up and then you're able to get the battery percentage, that's never going to work, buddy. So you probably need to, like, you know, stop using the camera for a while, leave it alone, probably maybe put a fan so that it cools down before you can get the charging back to normal speed, which admittedly is already really slow.
Hey, try to turn me up a little bit right now. Let's go. Yeah, 10 out of 10, let's wait. I've been going big on the bigs out of state. Do research, check out the back of my plates. I rep so heavy, attack when I take. Still I'm on.
Now the Galaxy Z Fold 7, just like all the new Samsung devices, especially all the latest releases, has log video. And something I like here about log video recording here on the Z Fold 7 is just that you can record on all the cameras, including the selfie camera, which is amazing. Now, something that is not as amazing though is when I brought my log footage into editing and I tried color grading it, I immediately noticed that there was this magenta shift on the image, which is okay enough. You can fix that with editing and color grading. But what you can't really fix is the chromatic aberration, which is where it has like this purple lines or sharp edges have that purpleness to them. I didn't really think, I mean, it adds character to the image, but it just means that the image is not clean, which maybe can be an aesthetic if that's what you're going for. And in fact, I used my friend Umar of Umar Nashbandi is conversion lot as well. I tried that as well. I tried the Samsung lot. I'll put both links in the description down there. So in case you need like conversion lots, you know, definitely you can go check it out. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the log video and I enjoyed the quality, but I also just wished, you know, especially in low light, it was not the best. So as with every tool, you need to be able to understand what you're working with and don't have the mindset that, oh, it shoots log, so I can just bring this anywhere and in any lighting condition. It doesn't work like that. And much like a camera that shoots log, it also requires a lot of light, it requires a lot of care, it requires a lot of editing. So if you have 2 or 3 or 4 of those checked in your list right there, you should be good to go with log recording here on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, when we talk about selfie cameras, there are actually 2 selfie cameras here on the Z Fold 7. First is the outer screen and then is the inner screen. So you've got 2 selfie cameras there. And I did notice like there was a massive difference in just, number one, the field of view of the cameras. So I think the one on the inside is way wider than the one on the outside. And also in dynamic range, where again, in my opinion, the one on the outside performed a whole lot better than the one on the inside. And you can see all the side by side right now. So let me know which one you prefer, especially, you know, even with portrait mode as well. I found the one on the inside performed way worse, even worse than portrait mode normality, which was already not normal. So yeah, let me know what you think and which one you prefer. But for me, I would definitely have to give it to the one on the outside, which is the one I would recommend you use if you want to do any serious like video calls or whatever with the Z Fold 7. Thanks to that main camera upgrade, there is also now a 200 megapixel main camera, which is what I've been raving about all along. And there's a 200 megapixel mode, and I've been taking some photos just to zoom in and see if it retains details, and it definitely does, as much detail as a 200 megapixel sensor or lens on a phone can. And I was actually impressed with the kind of detail you could put. You could actually, you know, crop in on this, you could reframe and all of that. And generally, I think I was pleased with the 200 megapixel mode on the Z Fold 7. Now, one thing I've liked here about the camera interface, which is so new to me, especially as someone who has traditionally used the flip phones, is that I like the way it handles the multi-display. So there are some software features here that I think has been fantastic. So when you open the camera like this, you get this option on the left here and you get this option on the right. These are the two key options, okay? So on the left here, when you press it, it actually gives you a preview of the last photos or videos you've taken. Now, I've been using this as my sort of end credits camera. So if you're not making it all the way to the end credits, you're missing out a lot because there's a lot of content there as well. But what is nice about this is that, let's say now I take a photo, like it moves it there, right? So you're able to see a preview of like your previous photos that you just took. I think this is a brilliant use of this real estate you have here. So you still get a full camera interface here. And of course, you know, when you switch the camera here, it switches. And this, I think, is my preferred way to use it because I like having just a more real estate here. And I like having my camera much bigger here. But as you can see, it's really nice in just the way how big it is right there, right? And the second feature here, so if I turn off this preview mode, that's what it's called, and I turn this on, now this is the cover screen preview. So as you can see now, this is the cover screen preview. You can see yourself while taking photos there. But what is especially nice about this, I'm just trying to get this in focus, is that you can actually swipe to the left and now you have controls. So now you can control it. So how I typically use it is that I would bring the camera up like this, and this is how I'll be able to, like, you know, like let's say I just switched to the ultra wide because the ultra wide is like really wide. So let's say I have it like this, I can be able to, like, you know, see myself or take group Wi-Fi's like this, and you can see some of the Wi-Fi's I've taken, and it's just really fantastic. I think it's a brilliant way. Of course, you have to train yourself not to look up, but to look like down. But other than that, it's been like really nice in just how nice you can utilize the cover screen. And of course, when you switch back here, you get this pop-up to be able to swipe back. When you swipe back like that, you're able to then have full control of your interface. I think it's fantastic just how Samsung has integrated the software features here. And as a Flip user, where I thought that was the best implementation of a cover screen, I would have to say that I've eaten my words here. This here is really marvelous. I really like it, and I'm a believer. I'll tell you that for sure. And of course, as with all things in life, there are three constants. There is debt, there's taxes, and there's Galaxy AI. And here, Galaxy AI also has photo manipulation features. But the way I used it was to be able to remove some of the mirror reflections. And maybe I, you know, purposefully looked for mirror reflections to remove. So you have the befores and you have the afters. Tell me which one you like better. Do you think the AI does well? And I think for me, this is one of like the most practical uses of AI, right? Being able to actually use it in a way that helps me in my art, as opposed to, you know, trying to replace my art, which actually fundamentally I don't think AI does anyway, right? But yes, let me know what are your thoughts about Galaxy AI here. There are, of course, more Galaxy AI features, but this is just the one that I tested in regards to photos that I'm taking here on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, there are three cameras, right? And one thing that I've always liked to do is test the lens consistency. So how does it go from the ultra wide to the telephoto? Does it manage to keep the same color, temperature, and all of that? And I did notice that here it's not as egregious as maybe some of the more budget devices, but I did notice that the ultra wide was quite warm compared to the main camera, which is, I think, the most standard of all. It represented what my eye saw, and the telephoto was a lot cooler than all the other cameras combined. And maybe it shifted to that teal, I would say, part of the color chart much more than the other cameras. So that's something here. It's not, you know, maybe I'm just very particular about stuff like this, but I definitely noticed it, and I think I should be telling you things that I noticed. So yeah, let me know if this matters to you or not. And finally, on wrapping up this video, I have posted many photos, I've posted many videos. So now it's over to you. Let me know, what are your thoughts about the camera on the Z Fold 7? Is, you know, are you impressed with the first flagship camera on a Galaxy Fold device? I would say I am. I am on certain parts of it, especially that main camera. I think that main camera is really great. I love that we have log video now, and using log video, especially when you treat it like a professional camera, which means you expose a lot for it, you give it a lot of light. You probably maybe stick to the main camera only. Maybe you use the other cameras in the day, not at night. But you do all of that, I think you have the, you know, trappings of a camera powerhouse that I think for the first time I can post photos from this and it's not gonna be lesser than my other phones, for example. Woo! Okay, that's it. I'm done. That has been it for this video. I've been a captain of awesome. This is Geekception. This video took a lot to put together. Like right now, I have been crashing out all day. You maybe don't see it right now, but literally I've been on the bed all day just crashing out. The bed behind me, I've been crashing out all day. So it's taking a lot to make this, but I really, really love this so much that I sat on the couch and I was like, am I going to let a crash out like get in the way of like me posting this? Like hell no. And you know, there's a deeper philosophical, meaning behind, just doing things when they're hard and all of that. And for this is, choosing your heart, and this is the life I chose, and there's glorious purpose in this. I was brought on this earth to do this, and you were brought on, like every single moment has brought both of us to where we are right now. And I love that for us. So please make sure you leave a like, subscribe, become a channel member to support me here. I would really appreciate that. That goes a long way into making sure that I continuously do this. But even other than that, please take care of yourself. Text me when you get home so I know you got home safe, and watch out for tapir. They're quite big, they're quite massive, and they get into lots of accidents because people don't know how big they are. So, wrapping up all of that, I'll go get food because my food is downstairs actually. So let me quickly go get that. But yes, I will catch you next time. Don't forget to stay awesome. Bye. And thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. Now for this video, I try to be as comprehensive as I can. I try to include as much detail, including log, which I believe this will be the first time I'm including like log section in a video. So if you have any feedback, that would be great. I mean, I would listen because you're one of the few people that actually make it here. Since you're here, tell me, what are you excited about this week? What are you looking forward to? For me, it's football. I have football in a very short while, so I just hopefully quickly complete this edit, post it up, and head out for football. I'm very excited for that. Like, people on the football page hate to see me coming, I'll tell you that for sure. But yeah, please just share the things you're excited about. For lots of videos still coming. I think this month has been one of the most highest volume months. I keep saying that every single time I release a video because it's so crazy to me, and I've not had that in a while, and I'm just cherishing every single moment I have that. But yes, leave hashtag cherish the moment so I know you made it all the way to the end of the video, and I'll catch you in the next one, you awesome beautiful being. All right, bye.